Welcome to So Guided, a spiritual travel guide for the curious.
Join us as we dive into the mystical, high-vibe ways we can connect to the universe and ourselves. We are trying anything and everything woo-woo. Whatever the result, mind-blowing, unbelievable, or hilarious, we promise to share in truth.
Ready to explore? Suspend disbelief and let's discover the mysterious together. Hello and welcome to another episode of So Guided. This week is a funny one. I, Jenny, have heard many times that I am from another planet. I am not from here. So we decided to investigate. This is a classic before and after where we dive into everything we think's about to come, and our after is a galactic past life Akashic reading. We actually have someone tell us what alien planets we are from. Are we aliens? What do you think? You got questions? So do we. Let's do this. Hello, I'm Jenny.
Hi, it's Carissa. I'm laughing because I was talking before and Jenny asked if I had woo-woos and I said I had two and she was like, oh God.
I said pick one.
Pick one. I said I can't. They're both so good. So I'll start since I have two.
You have two. Go for it.
Neither of which are mine, but they're short. So one of my friends, one of my best friends actually, from my roommate from college, listened to our spirit animal episode and did a spirit animal reading.
Love it.
And she texted me and she had said the craziest part of her spirit animal experience was that probably a week before, she had asked for a sign because she's trying to figure out what's going on in her life. She wanted a sign that everything was going to be okay. And she asked for a sign of a giraffe. And then she got her spirit animal reading. And it was a freaking giraffe.
Amazing.
Right? Isn't that the craziest thing?
I love that for her.
She said her mind was, of course, blown. Yeah. Unbelievable, but had no idea. And a giraffe is like nothing that's been special to her. The same thing. Like she's like a little shorty. She's like 5 feet tall. So even a giraffe is like a funny animal for her. But it was just like kind of like my kangaroo. No affinity towards a giraffe. And then had asked for a sign of a giraffe and then got her spirit animal giraffe.
Amazing.
Right? Isn't that such a good one?
It's such a good one.
So I had to share that. And then my other one is also a really cool share. It's a little deeper, but there's a guy at my work. His name was Terrence. He was unbelievable. He was in our New York office and he was battling cancer and passed away a little unexpectedly, even though he's battling cancer. So he passed away this week. Really sad. One of those people that just touched everybody. He was an amazing, amazing guy. To know him was to be his best friend kind of guy. And we're in Boston and my office was also sad. And there was a guy in my office who had known him for a long time and was super sad about Terrence or whatever. And he went downstairs to get food, came back up. And this is a Gloucester guy. He's if you know what that means, if everyone watched any of those sea movies or the lobster fishing, the biggest tuna, it all takes place in Gloucester. He's like a salt of the earth kind of guy. So he's not talking woo-woo stuff ever.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about that. But he comes up from going downstairs to get lunch or whatever. And he was like, oh my God, you guys are never going to believe what just freaking happened to me. And we're like, what? And he's like, first of all, he never drinks Diet Coke. He's like, I was craving a freaking Diet Coke. He's like, I don't normally drink it, but I want a Diet Coke with my lunch. So I go on the thing to get Diet Coke. There's only 2 left. And he's like, and I look in, and right now, there's that campaign going on where they put names on the Diet Cokes. And this guy's name is Rob. And he's like, I look in there, and there are 2 Diet Cokes. And one of them has the name Bobby. And the other one has the name Homie. And he's like, and Terrence, every time I used to see him, he used to be like, hey, Bobby A. He'd either call me Bobby A or he'd be like, hey, what up, homie? Those are the 2 names he always called me anytime I saw him were Homie or Bobby. And he's like, and those were the 2 names on the sodas. He's like, so he grabbed the Homie one and he's like, I just knew. He's like, it's unbelievable. He was blown away by this. And we're all like, oh my God, that's so crazy. So much to the point that he drank the Coke, washed it out and put it on his desk as a memorial. He's like, this is from Terrence. Isn't that the craziest,
full-blown chills?
Isn't that amazing?
I love.
And we're like, and this is such I'm saying,
wait. How random is Bobby and Homie?
No kidding.
Both
and he's like, those are the only 2 in the case. There was no other Diet Cokes left.
Nope. I love it.
And he's like, we just knew. We're like, oh my God, that's Terrence. Like, it was him. It was 100. And it permeated all of us. And so, and again, like, you and I talk about moves all the time. When you have, like, people who who are so out of, like, who aren't normally in that, like, zone. Oh, it's so cool. All right, so I had to share too.
Okay.
It was quick.
I support both of them.
Thank you.
And you did make them quick. Good girl. Yours were, like, nice and sweet and kind of deep. Mine is not. It's going a different direction. But as you know, I did a getaway with my kiddos last week. And we went to one of my favorite hotels, and it's in an old building, 1800s, and it's been revamped, and it's a beautiful boutique hotel. And we go to check in, and we have a cool little room that has bunk beds built into it for the kids. So we're really excited. And we're waiting for our room to be ready, waiting. It's not ready. So we go, and we said, what's up with this? And they said, we're so sorry. There's a problem with your room in engineering. It's needing to fix it. So we upgraded you to a full suite. Ooh. So my abundance is still in action and manifesting discounted things. But in any case, so we go and we get 3 rooms for our family, and we don't need them. Like, we didn't even, one of the rooms we just used as a suitcase room because we didn't need all of it, but it was kind of cool. So anyway, when we travel, Oliver will sleep with Brian and I sleep with Isabel, or vice versa. It's the special part of family traveling together. So Belle and I are in a room by ourselves. And I cannot sleep. There is someone watching me in the doorway, and very specifically in the doorway. And in the little hall where there's a bathroom and then a door to where Oliver and Brian are staying, I keep hearing footsteps to the point that I'm like, oh my God, Brian has a bad stomach tonight. Yeah. Because I kept hearing like someone going down the hall. And at one point I'm like, Brian, and I don't hear him. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm just hearing footsteps, but I feel someone watching me, to the point where I do not sleep this night. And I'm not a prayer. I will say hi universe. Yeah. We have our version of praying. I actually straight up pray. And I say, please, Jesus, God, light, wrap around Isabel and I and protect us right now. Like, I felt
you're getting a bad vibe.
I was getting a bad vibe. Oh. But then Isabel wakes up and she has no idea that I've been awake and I'm scared. And she goes, Mom, can you hold me? And she is a starfish who doesn't like to be touched when she's sleeping. And she's like, Mom, can you just hold me? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm holding her. And she's like, can you make sure you're like, your hands on me all night? She's like, Mom, I'm scared. Someone's watching from the doorway. Whoa. So the exact place I'm sitting.
Oh,
like so what doubled me out is like, it wasn't that the room was just creepy. She felt like someone was watching her from the doorway, like the exact space
of like icky.
Yeah, and then in the morning, come to find out the boys slept awesome. Neither of them had an upset stomach, and no one got up to go to the bathroom. And Isabel and I didn't sleep the whole night. Like, we kept hearing footsteps. The window was like making noises, and there was no weather outside. So anyway, we totally were in a haunted room.
You were.
And she confirmed it because we had the energy from the same place.
Well, and you confirmed it because she woke up and thought the exact same thing.
The exact same thing. But you want to know, like, being a mom, I had to be like, oh no, everything's fine, honey. And I couldn't tell her. Not only do I feel this too, I've been awake all night, but the same spot, I couldn't tell her.
Oh my, of course not. You gotta
so I'm sitting there and I'm like holding her all night, being like, okay,
I got you, honey.
Okay.
Oh
anyway.
my, is the hotel known to be haunted?
No, not that I know of.
Right.
But I think they're like shaking up and comers. I don't think they want people to think there's ghosts. Anyway, there is.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so that's that.
Well, that's a kind of a good segue.
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
What we're talking about today. So I think we might have mentioned this before, but we have heard multiple times that Jenny has had lives, or AKA is from another planet. And so we can talk about how we've heard this a few times, but we found that there is a way to get a reading, a galactic reading, and find out where, what, and how planet, what star system, what universe, other universes you've been to.
Right. So it's called galactic regression. So you guys know we've done past life regression. Mm-hmm. The idea is it's exactly that, but to a different planet. So these people are specializing in coming from other places than just human Earth. It's anywhere off Earth, right? And we don't know much about this, but to back it up, where this even begins from, right, of our interest. So we just went in hot, being like, yeah, we're going to go find out, where am I from? how long did it take us to believe in the fact that this is possible is kind of funny. So one of the OG things we ever did pre-podcast, I did a past life regression. I've been wanting to do it my whole life. I was so excited to do it. And one of the things that actually upset me from my regression, because it didn't fit in my line of thinking at the time, and I called you and I'm like, well, it was so cool. We went to Egypt, blah, blah, blah. But I'm kind of not sure if I believe this lady, because she said, I am from Lemuria. And also, you're not from here. I think you're from another planet. That was off-putting to me. And you said...
Well, yeah, I said, oh my God, I totally buy it. Because some of the things, because she gave you some examples. First of all, you were like, this is total BS. This is like ridiculous. This jumps the shark. This is like, I'm not like buying this. Like it was kind of cool, but now I'm thinking this is just like ridiculous. But some of the things she said, you're from like another planet, you're from Lemuria. They have a specific look. Like they have like a very specific look, super blonde hair, like big blue eyes, like kind of like wide set eyes or something. Basically, like when you were telling me what she said, I'm like, Jenny, have you looked in the mirror? Like that's what you freaking look like. And then she was also, but again, she could have been looking at you saying it. So again, there was a little bit of like hesitation there. But she also said that like they're always cold. You are always cold. And I blame it on you being from California or being living in California, but it's beyond that. It's like you'll make the house like uncomfortably hot. Like you'll be sitting next to a fireplace. It's like 100 degrees. I'm like, I've literally been in a tank top, close to naked, trying to like do our podcast while you're like in a sweatshirt by the fire. I'm like, this is not right. So you are super, super cold like all the time. And she said that's one of the things. What else? Did she say anything else that was like, those were two things that really stuck out that made sense to me. Do you remember anything else she had said?
There's kind of two versions of what we talked about, just to like back it up. One was a planet she said I was from, which I no longer remember, and I'll have to look at the notes. And the second was Lemuria. And they both relate to the term starseeds. Okay. So she called me a starseed. So a starseed is a soul that has existed outside of Earth. And so Lemuria is one, and the other planet is another thing. So the other planet that she had mentioned was my looks and that stuff, right? So that related to that. And there were a few other things. And I think one of the reasons she was saying it too is when I was speaking about where I was, one of the times I was explaining something that wasn't here, she thought.
Got it.
All right. So that's one piece of it. And then as you know, backing up the other planet situation, every reading I've ever had, we've heard that I'm not from here.
Right.
We've heard I'm a starseed. Whatever that really means. Maybe we'll circle back and dive into, I don't know. But we've heard this over and over again. And in a lot of meditations or Reiki or whatever, I end up floating in the stars. And I will say, though I hated it at that moment that I heard I was from another planet, over time I've really related to it because I have always felt like I don't belong here.
Yes.
And I don't connect with my body in a way that people work out or healthy or whatever. I'm very much more ethereal. I'm not grounded in earth, and it doesn't feel like my home.
Yeah.
So over time, this idea really resonated with me more and more like, no, I'm not from here. And things I care about, people don't care about here. Or like my everyday not being able to make small talk. I'm like, let's talk about the stars and whatever.
Right.
And you could attribute it to a million things. But this idea of the other planet went from being like off-putting and upsetting to like super duper resonating.
It did, yeah.
And I would even go far as to say is like one of the things is that of my newer learnings even this year of all the things that we got into is that it's possible that other planets aren't like in the universe like we physically think them, but they're other dimensions.
Yes.
And when you get into this wacky, weird gray area, that almost weirdly makes more sense to me than I'm an alien that was blown on another planet. Well, does that make sense?
Yes. I think you're hitting it on the head. Like when you think of other planets, you think of an alien, and it's not an alien to me anymore. That's like where it's like, I think that's why I was off putting you like, oh my God, I'm an alien. Like, no, you're not an alien.
Exactly.
It's like you're like from like your soul has been to other dimensions, to other like experienced lives in other places. And what I've been getting to, and I've never gotten told this, never gotten told this at all. But what I have started to like when I'm listening to people, to podcasts, to you, to things like, I think it happens so much more. It's so much more common than we think. However, when we're talking about most of these things, most past life regressions, most things are about this planet, but I think it's so much more common. So the fact that we're able to find people who do readings about these other places, I think it's like many of us have been to other
I agree.
dimensions to other planets and been, have chosen. And like, there's like a lot of people who have had like near-death experiences are finding that when they go to these other dimensions, they've seen the other places
Other
they've been.
things,
And there's other
environments.
vibrations and there's other places to be. So I think, I don't know, I'm super intrigued to hear I think what you should do, because we're always looking for evidence and we haven't done it yet. Can you like share kind of when you went to your past life regression, what happened that had her thinking you might be from another place? Do you remember like that? I think it was when you were like almost like not a medicine woman, but you remember you were like feeling like the love like I wanted to see if a reading might show the same.
Right. So this is the thing that I'm trying to simplify down. So there, like I said, I kind of went on the first, which is other planet.
Yeah.
And she said that. And she said a certain star system that she thought I related to. I'll look it up before we have our readings.
Okay.
So that could be a helpful evidence too. And recently we did numerology as well. He said a system I was from, and it was Syrian. I do remember that. So just interesting.
Okay, good.
What's really cool when I've started to look into all of this now in retrospect is they're saying that the reason that people are incarnating on this earth is to help guide awakening and the next level of love and bringing a higher vibration to the planet. Now that is when I relate to being a starseed.
Yeah.
Is I love that idea. I feel like from the minute I was born, I've wanted to raise vibration of mine and people, and it feels like my life goal, and it feels so me that when we talk about it, it feels warm fuzzy to me. I love this idea, and it's not blue alien with 5 arms, right?
Yeah.
It's me just here to like hopefully spread light.
Right.
And I don't mean to be altruistic about it, but you know what I mean.
I totally get it.
So she was that other thing from being another planet is more, I think, her psychic take.
Okay.
What I could give you, and you're looking for me to dig into a story, is more the other half of it, which is Lemurian. So that was a bigger part of my regression. And the reason Lemuria relates to starseed is they say Lemuria was starseeds.
Okay.
So let me get back into what Lemuria is. And now this is what I really, really, really relate and resonate to now, is that I'm from Lemuria. And sweet Jesus, I'm going there.
Oh, do it. Tell us everything.
All right. So in the regression, I was in a place and it was warm. And I felt warmth wrap my skin like a friend, like a hug. The warmth and the heat in the air was comforting. And I instantly felt that. And like dew, it was humid.
Ooh,
and tropical. And there were birds and they were exotic. And there was waters running and it was rich and lush. And I was at a river. And I repeat, and I've listened to my recording, when I'm under hypnosis in this regression, I just say, it's so light here. I'm so much lighter here. I'm so light here. I have the goosebumps sharing this. And I also kept repeating, is there so much love around me? Everyone in my village that I feel behind me, we love each other so much. I felt extraordinary love. And I felt actually weightless, like I was on the moon of like weightlessness. I felt in that exact memory that my human body was so freaking heavy and where I was so light and airy, and it was how I was meant to be.
Oh, yeah.
And I like am talking about this, and I'm saying I'm at the river, and I'm the one conducting a ceremony, and I was explaining that it's a ceremony, and I am the person doing it, and the people are here for my ceremony, and I'm doing it. It has something to do with the moon. There was something very spiritual. All the elements needed to be connected in this moment. And I knew the people were there for me to do it in some sort of spiritual leader way, but I was not above anyone.
Oh, yeah.
We were equal.
That was a big part of it. I remember
and this resonated really deeply. Although I was the one that understood and was leading it, I was not better than or higher than people, if that makes sense. But it did to me. So I'm explaining all of this in a regression. P.S. guys, this is freaking now 4 years ago. I didn't know anything we talk about.
Right.
This is the very first thing I ever did, right? So when I came out of it and the practitioner who had led me through the regression, she's like, by the way, you were in Lemuria. And I said, what the hell is Lemuria? I've never even heard the word in my life. So apparently, Lemuria is a place on Earth that existed and then was destroyed by a natural disaster, by climate change, who knows? And unknown when this period is, okay? But she was saying that Lemuria was known to be completely loving. By the way, it was tropical. It was warm. It's where like Hawaii is.
Yeah, they say it's where Kauai was.
P.S. If you've been listening long enough, Hawaii is my special warm fuzzy place. I'm drawn to it. I'm going there this summer because I'm drawn to it yet again. Anyway, this whole the culture, the Polynesian cultures considered the ancestors of Lemuria and their land still speak to the values and whatnot. Apono Ho, Apono Ono, and all that stuff all relates to Lemuria. Anyway, so Lemuria is the lost land. It was tropical, it was warm, it was loving. And one of the most beautiful things when you Google it, look into it, is that the people were equal. There was no one who, the leaders and the spiritual, no one was above anyone.
Right. Everyone was as important as the next, right?
And they say that their vibration was so high, they were even communicating not always with words.
Right, telepathically.
Yeah, and their words they were such high vibes. And so, as you know, I did feel this in my heart and soul, but was also like thrown back because like my rational mind had never heard of Lemuria. History tells us there was nothing here but dinosaurs before us. We know, how we evolved. And yet this has spoken to me over time. This has resonated incredibly deep to the point where, Chris and I have an inside joke and it's like, well, Jenny's cold because she wants to go home to Lemuria. Yeah. Like it's an inside joke of ours. But I like deeply resonate with it. So why am I bringing it up with the intergalactic? One of the things I've learned when I've looked into it is they're saying Lemuria wasn't like human souls. It was from other planets and it was star seeds that came. Whether that even is a part of the story or not, I don't know.
Right.
But both of those are possibilities because of what I've read about. But to back it up even further, I don't know if you're digging into like all these Egypt finds and all this.
No, you said it was so
I
cool.
know. And Egypt's another story. But what is really cool about what we're finding in archaeology digs is they're finding sites that are predating what we knew to be the start of humanity. They found advanced civilization. Man, I wish I could remember the name. There is a new site that was found. And it is an advanced site with advanced intelligence at the same time we were cavemen.
That's unbelievable.
And
so
it
amazing.
actually isn't like making sense to our historical timeline. And they're starting to find sites that are like predating what we know and in the oceans and in certain sites that there is a shakeup right now that our timing of humanity's off. So to go really, really far out there, one of the philosophies that's coming out is that we've already risen and fallen in Atlantis, Lemuria, and it was wiped out. And here we are starting over. And there's no record keeping from it anymore. I mean, it is crazy. And a lot of times they relate the past civilizations to the connections of something with aliens. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I really don't know if they connect, overlap. Right. But a lot of times when you research this stuff, they do.
Yes.
So I have like 50 million questions. Don't know what direction a regression would go. I don't know where my belief settles. And it's why we haven't done an episode on Lemuria or Egypt or alien galactic regression kind of stuff because we're still collecting the information.
Yes.
Would that be accurate?
Yes. I think we're trying to wrap our head around it. Yeah. We're still trying to understand. Like we are trying to see what we even buy into.
Exactly.
And so.
Exactly. So what do I resonate with going into this is the only thing is backing out all that stuff I just said is certain things I hear hit a note with me that I'm like, And I think I need to kind of have my time with myself to figure out to have an episode on any of those specific subjects to say like, I think this is what I'm believing. But what I know to be true is I very much connect with the idea of Lemuria and some sort of memory of a place where I had a higher vibration that was warm. Love was the reigning power of the place I was in. And then I also relate whenever someone now says, oh yeah, you're not from here. And I get it in every gosh darn reading.
Yeah.
I've started to resonate with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it means. How about you? So what do you think?
I totally believe you're from another planet too. Mm-hmm. But I think how that translates to my bigger belief is that it's only become more recently. I've always believed like we're not just the only ones. I do believe actual aliens and stuff. I've always believed in that because I feel like it's hard to believe that we're the only things in the massive, massive universe that there is.
How selfish are we to
right,
think that?
Exactly.
That's
It seems like it seems less likely that we'd be the only ones than to have more. So whatever. So I've always believed there was more. What I'm believing more and more now, where I see is like, again, almost like how can it not be possible that we do have lives in other places on Earth.
Totally.
And like maybe you choose to come to Earth the most, which I feel like maybe that's me. Maybe I'm like more a person that like chooses to learn on Earth as like my main part. And they say Earth school is a very hard school. And so those who choose to come on Earth like really have to like believe in it. They see like the value of growth here for your soul. But like I think that there's got to be other places in other universes, other planets that we've gone or have had access to, you know what I'm saying? Or at least know about or have, you know, like dimension,
right, if we're talking about the
or like
non-physical.
resonate with. So because I haven't been told directly that I'm like from somewhere else, I don't have like say you have like some things that we can maybe like base some evidence off of or figure it out. But I just want to see and hear, like, I'm dying to know what they actually do say to me. That's kind of like, because I do believe there has to be other, and like, and if it's not like, oh no, this is really where you are. This is like, I'm seeing you in this universe, whatever. This is where you tend to be. Then it's a great opportunity. I'm to ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah. So to back up, like even everything we're saying, I think one thing we can say that we believe in going into this, that we know our belief system of what we've come to learn. You and I wholeheartedly believe in reincarnation.
Yes.
All right. We wholeheartedly believe our souls come back and for the purpose of learning, loving, and the universe, we're almost a part of the universe gaining knowledge of every version of itself, right? The expanding consciousness, right? So our souls incarnate in each life to better themselves, to learn more, to get closer to love, right?
Yes.
These are things we believe in.
Yes.
So going into this one, and I don't know why, but it cracks me up that the word galactic is used.
I know.
It sounds like Star Trek, but in order to suspend disbelief on this one, if we believe in reincarnation and that we're here to learn, and we do also say in a sciencey way, there's no way that we're the only life, why would a soul stop at Earth? Like why?
Right.
So, okay, there's beings elsewhere. So when we believe in reincarnation, why couldn't you show up somewhere else or have been? So I'm trying to be like as open as possible. I also feel like, wait, when we're done recording this, you and I are going to go look for who we're going to book this with. Full disclosure, we usually have it booked. We don't. We're about to investigate. But I need to really trust someone.
I know. That's our only,
right?
That's the big one.
Yeah.
That's the big one is to find the right, you know, we've gotten asked this question before. It's like, how do you find the right like person? And it's like, a lot of times it's luck. A lot of times it's gut. A lot of times referral. We don't have a referral for this.
We don't.
One.
So we're going in cold.
Yeah, we're going in cold. But hopefully, I think our big like things here is we want someone who reads us, not us reading like ourselves. I don't want to be put into hypnosis and try to figure it out because that's where I feel like my ego will get in the way.
We want someone to tell us.
Yeah.
All right. So we are about to go research this. We are booking it, and we are
we're going to report back.
We're going to report back. Where are we from, girl? All right.
All right, hey, we are back and we are about to discuss our galactic readings. We have not shared anything with each other, and in full transparency, where do we even go with this one? Because it is one of the weirdest readings I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm stuttering. We are at a loss. So I think we've established with y'all that we are authentic humans. This person who read us was amazing, loved her energy, had warm fuzzies, had good vibes. The material that we've learned is hard to process and resonate with. So we literally didn't organize our thoughts, you guys. We don't know what each other has to say, and we don't really know how to share it.
Right. And we also don't know if they're similar. So we're going to find out real time if like she got the same thing as I did. And we're just gonna kind of share like some of the moments that we got. And to go back to this lady, she was absolutely amazing. I had asked her kind of how she ended up in this.
Oh.
And so one of the things she told me was that as a young child, she could always talk to angels. So she always felt like there was like things in other realms. And so she could talk to angels. And then as she got older, she started doing Reiki. And when she did Reiki, that unlocked this whole new like energy field, and she could feel frequencies. And what she could do is she started realizing when she was doing Reiki, when she was doing it on people, she would be like, oh, this person's a starseed. They're from the Palladians. Like, oh, this person's this. And so she is different than some of the other like psychics and readings because she started like being able to tell the energy of starseeds from other, what do we call it? From other universes, from other dimensions, which is how she came up with doing these galactic readings. So she also said she trained in like the Akashic records for galactic reading. So it was cool. We got what we wanted because she read us.
Yes,
because that was one of the things.
Yeah,
that was one of the things that was super important. So for me, like she just jumped right in, and I had to like kind of take a seat back and be like, wait, what the heck is she talking about? Because she like went right for it. What about you?
Yeah, same. She did a prayer.
Yeah.
And the invocation or whatever that word is to start the Akashic records. So you guys have heard us do Akashic records. She's accessing that, but for really ancient timelines and other dimensions and planets. This is normal already. But in any case, one of the things that got me locked in immediately was when she did it, I had full body chills, which someone gave me the term truth chills the other day, and I'm adopting it for life. I got truth chills, which you can't deny. So I felt her energy. It felt like she was tapping into something. And I loved her demeanor. The way she talked wasn't fluffy.
No.
It was so matter of fact, like it was just facts.
Yep.
So it was like someone was giving you a history lesson. And it didn't even seem like she had, bravado. It was just very straightforward in a way that made me trust her.
Yep.
With all of that being said, the words coming out of the mouth were like, what?
Yeah, me too.
And I think this is really, of all of our readings in our entire history, this is the one that I'm having the hardest time processing the information as true.
Yeah, me
but
too.
It's not from the source. It's just information you and I haven't uncovered. I was ready to believe in starseeds, AKA having life on other planets in my background. Yeah. And I was ready for that. I think, like all things, I was romanticizing one beautiful life I was going to hear about.
Me too.
And instead, it was a wackadoo timeline.
All right, you go. Tell me.
I'll go first.
Thank you.
But it's killing me because I told Brian, our husbands are always like, well, how was it? And I said, I love the person, the information I'm really trying to process, but it's the only reading I really remember that it's only going to make sense to me when I hear yours. And I think you feel the same.
That's why I think I want you to go first. Well, here's the thing, too. There are some things that resonated a lot with me, and there are other things that I'm like, no, that seems like seems off. Yeah, it seems like, okay.
I'm going to go as light level as I can. So she started with a starseed I've never heard of before, the Lyrians.
Okay.
Did you have any
No,
Lyrians?
I did not have Lyrians. I did not have Lyrians.
And they are supposedly the original come to being from consciousness.
Okay, very cool.
Only after angels, which were first.
Well, don't worry. I was in the angelic realm.
Okay,
so I'm an angel.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So I'm an angel.
Yes. Same.
Okay.
But so she said she went back to angel because it's not a human form.
Yeah, so
right. We started off with the Lyrians. And she said that is like my ancestors that are trying to connect with me. If I feel a sense of home, it's the Lyrians. And so like that's kind of fun to get a new one. And then this is really kind of funny. Lyrians have different species of themselves. I am a blue avian, and a blue avian Lyrian is part bird.
Oh my God! And you got your bird for your spirit animal.
Yeah, and birds up the wazoo for
and birds with the
egrets
and the egret. Oh my God, that is so funny.
I did love that. She said I incarnated there like 6 times without getting into it. Then I was Pleiades and I was Syrian.
You've been so many.
Okay, so this is why I said I couldn't tell you. I'm not done yet.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm pausing. You go.
So she did the same thing, it sounds like, for you as she did for me, where she started with like the one where you're the most, and she jumped right into the I'm an Arcturian. An Arcturian.
Yes. What do we know about Arcturians?
She's like, it's a very rare one, of course, right? But she said that the star for the Arcturians is right above the land of Hawaii. She's like, do you find yourself drawn to Hawaii? And I'm like, no, I actually don't. But she's like, well, I would love to go to Hawaii, but I've never been there. But she's like, the star for like the Arcturians is the ones that like the Polynesians and all of like thousands of years ago, they used to use that star to guide ships and stuff. And like to like, so it's like, that's the star side of it. But basically the Arcturians are like the legit like ET looking species.
Okay.
So they're like gray and they're like got like the eyes set apart. Like if you think of like an extraterrestrial, like they are the purest form. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, but what's like interesting about them, it's like, so say like we're on like Earth is like moving to another, like the Earth humans are on their way to like move up from, like we say, we're on the second dimension,
fourth.
Well, fourth
We're
dimension.
going to the fifth.
All
We're
right,
trying to get to the fifth.
All right, so we're fourth dimensional, like moving to the fifth dimensional. And she says like Palladians are like the sixth dimension and seventh dimension. So there's all these like dimensions. She's like the Arcturians are like 14th dimension. So they don't talk. They don't, like, everything is like through the mind, and they're very, very in their head. And what I thought was kind of interesting is she's like, you may find yourself overthinking. She's like, that could be your Arcturian. I think about things. She's like, you're dissecting things. She's like, they also are very much like, nothing is like good or bad. Like, which, you know, we're always talking about like yin and yang. And she's like, it's all like very like they kind of know things are as is.
Yeah.
And so they very rarely incarnate on Earth, but they're coming more and more now as like Earth and like the humans are trying to like save the Earth and save this species. So the Arcturians, like she says, like in the past, like there were very, very few Arcturians, and now there's still super, like you'd see a lot more of other types on Earth, but it's like one of like the more rarer, probably not rarer species, but rarer star seeds to come to try to help elevate mankind.
Yeah. So what was like your sole purpose as an Octarian, or like your mission?
It's literally to feel joy and to feel from your heart space. And she's saying by you just radiating joy, like it radiates out farther than like most. So like if you like choose to do things that bring you joy and excite you, and like from a heart space, that actually frequency, frequency itself actually goes out, and like that's raising the entire elevation and like the vibration of the Earth, which is what like you came to do. So like you volunteered to come here and like to do that, to help raise the vibration purely by like feeling joy and like feeling that emotion.
That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Makes me think you need to have more fun.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have fun. I mean, maybe I think everyone can have more fun.
Did you have any other besides Octarian and Angel? So what else did you get for?
I have one other one,
Okay,
but my Octarian is like the most.
That's the main one.
The Angel's the most. The Angel's the most. I feel like now I'm jumping. Now I'm telling my whole story because I don't have that much. Because that's like kind of so it stuck with Octarian, and basically it was like I was in the angelic realm for the most time.
Yeah.
And she said as Octarian, and so the angel realm, which we'll talk about. She says, which seems like, kind of, if we're being honest, it seems like ridiculous that you can like be like
an angel,
right?
Like we think of that as the most
right.
Pure
And
thing.
I kept asking her, I'm like, well, what's the hierarchy? Isn't isn't there like don't you evolve? Like on Earth, you feel like we pray to angels, like, you know, you look for guardian angels.
That's a good question.
Like we have such different perspective of an angel. I'm like, how could I have been an angel and then I'm an Octurian and now I'm here on Earth? It just seems so like that was hard for me to wrap my head around. And she was she's like, oh, I love how you're dissecting this. And I'm like, maybe it's my Octurian. But like she basically said that almost all like, I don't know, are we calling them races? What are we calling these things? Like,
I don't know.
All of these things, all of these different like star seeds, I guess she calls them star seeds. But so all these different star seeds that you could be, she said there's like 15 of them that like that incarnate on Earth, quote unquote, pray to angels. And so she was saying that like as like angels, it's the highest light form. So they're the lightest, they're the airiest, like they are like the highest vibration, the highest frequency. But in like the scheme of things, that doesn't make them better. It just makes them like the highest like frequency. So she's like, there's not really like in her perception, there's not really like a hierarchy of like you try to get to become an angel. It doesn't work like that. It's more like they're just the highest vibration. So other like star seeds like look to them for help. And so she was saying that as an angel, which was what I've been like the longest and the most times, which I also thought was weird because I didn't think you could like keep reincarnating as an angel. But apparently I didn't really understand that. But she's like, you were that for the longest amount of time. And then she said the Arcturians would like pray to you or like look to you for guidance or like again look to the angel realm for like advice and whatever. And so you chose to become an Arcturian to help them. So like that's like why I came to the Arcturians. So that and what's interesting about Arcturians, what I thought too, which I have heard before, is like they're very like telepathic. So if you must be telepathic now. Remember I've heard that before, like the telepathy and some of that stuff. Yeah. Where I was like, okay. So she said I had always been a volunteer, like a raiser of hands to help. And so I did that for the Arcturians. I was with the Arcturians, and that's like where I get a lot of my help now.
Okay. Take it for what it's worth. All this, again, having a hard time processing. And even just the visual of you being in the form of a gray alien.
I could not. I'm like, was I on a different planet with them? Like, I don't understand. And she was like, no, they're like here. Like, they're here, but we can't see them. Like, they're on another dimension here. So, like, they're almost like, it's like, but we can't see. I know, I can't process it either.
This makes me check out of the story. It's hard.
It's hard to, I mean, like, so they're, I couldn't wrap my head around it either.
Okay. So piggyback on your angel realm, it did sound to me like the first true expression was angel. Like I think if she did any reading, everyone was almost like an angel first. That's kind of how I vibed
I asked her.
Of course you did.
Well, because I was saying the same thing. I was like, so wait, everyone starts, and she's like, no. She's like, some start on Earth, like some start in the other realms. Like there's very, very old species or whatever. And she's like, no, she's like, not everyone, definitely not everyone has angelic, or like, because that's what it sounded like. Because I thought, because she was saying, everything comes from source, and all of these are all. I'm like, so did everyone start as an angel from source?
Oh, I feel better about that.
And then she's like, no.
Okay,
she said, I like that.
We both had angel background. You obviously got. I'm so glad you asked Krista like questions on yours, but. Yeah,
I had to, because I was super confused too. That's why I was like, what the hell? This is so bizarre. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to ask questions. I'm like, wait a second. Am I even processing this right in the moment? So just give me all the details. Tell me everything she said, and I'll add more to mine.
I can't. I feel so weird. I feel so weird on this one. So I have like 15 things that I was. And she said, like, you're literally one of the oldest beings, and that I seed civilizations. Like I go to places that need to raise the vibration to the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
And
which she said to me too, though.
That's what I was worried about.
So that's okay. So this is and for everyone listening, we don't actually like when they do that, because we feel like it's like generic. It's not like we're like
when they overlap.
Don't ever think that we're like, oh yeah, we're seating. We're not. I feel like that's what it's like. Does everyone get that?
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to know when I talked to you, if you heard this too, because I was thinking. Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear that I seed everything.
Oh, seeding was like a big repeat.
She said I heal everything. I go as like a tribute almost to these places to help heal. Yeah. I'm like a raiser of hands while consciousnesses are in a dimension of change. I'm a hand raiser to heal and help evolve them.
Well, you're not going to like this, but I heard that just by being here, I'm broadcasting loving, healing energy.
Well, I heard that too.
Well, that's my point.
That's annoying.
I don't like that.
Too. I don't like that
those
either.
exact words. So.
Oh man. Okay. Oh no. Oh man.
So she just basically kept saying, like, wherever I'm at, I'm helping to raise consciousness. That's like my total mission. I went all over the place doing it. One thing that made me like almost fall off the chair, like I was laughing inside of myself, was I was a part of Galactic Wars. Did you hear about the Galactic Wars?
No, she mentioned it for a minute, and I'll tell you why. But tell me about the Galactic Wars, what you saw.
So there were many, apparently, but I was a part of the Draconian.
Oh my God, so was I.
Lyrian.
No, I was Draconian, a part of it too. That's the only time I heard it.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, Draconians are assholes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're assholes, and they destroyed Lyria. So all the Lyrians.
And were you Lyrian?
Yes.
Oh, when the Draconians came?
Mm-hmm. And so all the Lyrians had to leave, basically, for whatever happened. So Lyrians, like, scattered.
Were they on a planet?
They either died. It sounded like they died, and they all kind of had to migrate to find a home. And that's why I ended up on Pleiades. But she said I was very specifically a part of the cleanup of, like, that is my sole purpose, is to raise vibration for the purpose of love, not war. And because of the Draconian War that was left in me, like, I have to go bring more love. And my reason was because of the war trauma. And she did a clearing that I still have past trauma from that I lost, like, my home and stuff. But she said I've lived so many planets. That's like another reason why I might not have a sense of home, is I've been, like, I had so many incarnations. And
as different species?
Mm-hmm. The other thing was, she said I'm an ambassador of the Galactic Federation of Light.
Oh my God. Did you get that? I did not get that. I did not get that. Okay. Oh my God, it's so...
That's why I said...
my God.
Wait. So before, like, literally, I really don't blame you guys if you've already turned this episode off. But I said to Carissa, I think we can't even talk about our readings.
Dude.
It's so out there. Okay, so...
What did she say about I need to know more about that, though. What is this Galactic Federation? She tell you what that is?
Yeah, but I mean, you know me. I don't ask deep questions, but it's basically a collection of many, like all I could think of was Star Wars or Star Trek. It's like the UN, the United Nations of star seeds. And they like meet, and it doesn't matter where you're from. You're like on ground crew to like spread the light. It's like an overarching federation, and it's like it's like the United Nations kind of.
Wow.
So that was interesting. And I thought, oh God.
That's so weird.
What? So I think it kind of got me with that terminology makes me think of Star Wars.
It does. Well, she used Star Wars as an example
She
of mine.
did?
And she said, like, I don't love using Star Wars, but it's the easiest way to think about things with, like, the different... Because she was talking about the draconian to me, because she said, I incarnated as a draconian once. But again, as a hand raiser to help raise them, because she says that they've actually evolved now beyond this menacing species. And they always used to be kind of, like, war ridden and like not ideal or whatever, and like they like I don't know, like she mentioned, like, you know how you hear about those conspiracies with like lizards and stuff, that's part of the draconians, like putting like people think that that's part of the draconians. Like I guess there's like I didn't really heard this, but I guess there's like some sort of conspiracy that like certain celebrities are actually like lizards, and they come to like I can't even listen to that. It seems so like what the F is going on? It's so ridiculous. I asked her, I'm like, do you believe that? And she's like, no. She's like, I actually don't. She's like, but what I do think could be is that the draconians, like they could have heritage in them from Draconia, where they're still part of the less evolved, like not just actors in general, but certain people may be like influenced by draconian because they do have that like past where they've been like that. And she's like, I only incarnated with them once, and it was to better them, to help bring them, because like so many of them have evolved up to the next dimension and are not so anti everything now, which again seems super weird to me.
It's all. I didn't even get you to my last one. I was also a mantis, which is the most rare of them all, she said.
A mantis?
Which is like the super giant beings.
Oh my God, I've never heard of it.
And they're super tall beings, like absolute giants. And you think like a giant praying mantis type thing. And this is the other one where my notes even stopped because I was like, I don't know what to write down. There's no nuggets. I was the gatekeeper. They had a portal, and I was the mantis gatekeeper for all of any soul to enter humanity. And I was like, okay, I'm out. I know.
Is that supposed to be like on, like you're in a portal of like another planet? Like,
I don't know. There was just so many that I got.
Mantis?
And I almost feel like I could have like dug into a single one. I think it made it harder for me, all the stories I heard, and then terminology like ambassador of galactic.
Yeah, see, yours was definitely different than mine because I didn't have that. I had like the three. I had the galactic. Not the galactic. I don't know what I'm talking about. The Arcturian, which I keep forgetting about. And she went kind of deep into the Arcturian because that was like such like she's saying that's such an impactful thing for me. And that's like, again, what she said to you, kind of the same thing. You just bring joy, you raise a consciousness.
I didn't get joy. It was very much not joy.
Okay, what's joy?
Mine was love.
Okay.
And fifth dimension consciousness. So I do feel like I never heard the word joy once. And healing I only heard once. So it was less healing.
She did, I'm a healer. And that, which is interesting because we heard that crazy in my numerology too. So the fact that like healer, you're here to heal, and like she went deeper into that one, which I was like, oh, that must be like my biggest one. But then she was like, no, actually the angelic one was. So like that's kind of all she talked about. She went pretty deep into those. But I feel like the weirdest part, and this is what really I was going to tell you, there's something that's unbelievable.
Yes, please.
This to me was the most unbelievable thing. I'm like, I just don't buy that. She said, this is my only incarnation on Earth. This is my first and only. I've never incarnated on Earth before. I have no karma. I have nothing to heal. That's why I'm here for joy and to help everyone to the fifth dimension or whatever dimension. I am literally here as a healer. I'm a volunteer, just like for the Draconians. I volunteered for that. I volunteered for this. Earth needs me right now. That's why I'm here. Like, I'm literally here. And she also did say, though, which I kind of, we've heard before, she's like, you're a lighthouse. Your vibration permeates. Like, you've got one, and I'm not even like, it's weird when they say vibration. You think, oh, you're so happy. You got such a great vibe. That's not what it is. She's like, it's your frequency. She's like, your thanks, Jenny. But
I mean, you're not like a bubbly, fluffy.
But like, it's like the frequency is just higher to get out. But I was like, when she said, I've only had one. This is my one and only incarnation on Earth. I was like,
I don't resonate.
I didn't resonate with that either. I was like, no way. I feel like I've Like, did she say anything about how many times you've been here?
A few, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was, like I said, there's too much to digest to understand it all. This one's a toughie. I don't want to even talk about the readings anymore. Like, I feel I'm not like upset by it, or I think it's that I just don't know how to handle this information. Like, some of it doesn't resonate.
Yeah, well, doesn't that seem weird? Because you've like
no,
didn't that,
no, like you just kind of like
I know
wrote it off for me.
I know that was weird, right?
Because there's no way, and like everything like negates a lot of our research.
So this is what the one thing that is, like, I will say is so many things that she said. And again, as long as she didn't say it to you too, you know, because sometimes I'm like, this is generic stuff, but how she was like the telepathy, how she's like, you're telepathic. She's like, you know, you are. And I feel like she's like, you like healer. I've heard so many times. She's like, she literally used like lighthouse, like the resonance going out. We've heard that in many readings we've had. Like there was like, she did say, she's like, we were talking about if I had kids, and she's like, oh, if you have kids, she's like, star seeds usually breed star seeds. She's like, I bet you, she's like, I think you at least would have one angelic star seed with you. And what do I always say to Van? He's my earth angel. I literally call him that. Yes. And so like, I'm like, and like, it was just random for her to say that. Few nuggets so there was a few things. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like that seems validating. Yeah. Like that's, and like, there was just some things that resonated that I've seen. Like she even said, like, they're telling you to like trust your heart, like trust, like just to like, go in, like, don't be so in your mind because you already know the answer. She also said, which I are
very mind focused.
Yeah, I know.
Too.
No, I always am.
And that wouldn't relate to me, but it does
and
relate
she did,
to you.
And she said that, like, she's like, you know things automatically and you don't know why, but you know, and I've heard that and I've known that. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I've heard that from other readings and like other things, like my stars and stuff have said that.
Okay.
And like, and I've always been like, it's true. Like I'll get like downloads. I'll be like, I just know, I don't know why I know this, but I know this is what we need to do. I know this is this. And so there was a few things that seemed so validating.
I like that.
That I was like, okay, there's some of these things I really like they're verifying other readings I've had. They're verifying things I do know to be true, but then sprinkled in with some of these other things that I'm like, I feel like off. So I'm like, is she just like a good like psychic? And maybe this other stuff is weird?
Yes.
Or is it like because it is so hard to really wrap your head around this, like could all this other stuff be somewhat, you know, it just seems, I don't know. It seems weird. Like it's so weird.
Well, yeah, and we were talking about, you know, in our before part of the same episode is that, like, it took me a while to even believe reincarnation on Earth, right?
Right.
And the beginning of thinking about that takes a while to accept, right? So what I was left with is this my new version of hearing something that over time it's going to resonate or not. And I don't know that it does. And that's okay. I'm also open to it.
Right,
I don't write off anything. You and I wouldn't be doing this. And this actually wouldn't be fun if we weren't open about it. But yeah, this one's hard. And I guess I'd say too, I didn't get relatable to this moment anything.
Really?
No, I got really much more about being out in space.
It also seems like she jumped around more for you. Because I did find her to be like, I had to reel her in a little bit from my own processing. Yeah. Like where I'd be like, wait a second. Like I didn't get it. You know, I was like, so I don't even know if she had more and I like used up the time for other stuff, you know, like for my own questions. But like you getting all those lives and her giving you like nuggets on each, is hard. That's why you were like, even for this episode, you're like, oh, like I can't, like I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, I can talk about my 3 in like 10 minutes.
I know, so
you know, like that's the difference.
They were very different. Yeah, they were different. But one of the things I had hoped you'd ask was I want to know, was there anyone that she reads that has only been to Earth?
She I didn't ask for that. She said that everyone she reads is a starseed or they wouldn't be coming for a galactic reading. Because I was like, do you have people come and like they're not from? She's like, no. She's like, you're only drawn to me if you're from a galactic. And I'm like, that does make sense. And she's like, I'm like, but are there people who are only like on Earth? And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, there are people that come to Earth as like their main spot. And she's like, but she kind of, and I might like butcher how she presented it, but basically and again, this is all her perception, but like how she sees it is even the people that only come to Earth, it's not like they're like, again, not as evolved as someone who's like a Turian, who's in the 12th dimension or whatever, but she's saying because they've come to Earth so many times, she's like, they're evolved as a human species. So like they're evolving too. And so they're higher up in like that species. And she said that the karmic debt, she said, on Earth builds. And so that's harder for people when they come early to get rid of it. But she's saying that, I don't know, she said something about karmic debt even being like released. I asked how many starseeds, I was intrigued by this too. I'm like, because everyone coming to you, I'm like, how many starseeds are even on Earth? Like, and she said there's 144,000. And so I was like, that doesn't seem like that many.
Wait. I thought we were talking species.
No, starseeds. Like people, because she's calling us starseeds. So anyone that comes from another planet to try to help evolve and move
that
Earth.
sounds really small.
I thought that's what I said. I'm like, wow, that's like not a lot at all. And she's like, it's not. She's like, but she said all starseeds are on Earth right now to help like evolve the planet and basically save humanity, you know? And she's saying which she thinks it's happened. And she's like thinking that it's like in a good spot. But she said that all they need to do is reach 30% of the population. So 144,000 need to like impact like 30% or something, she says, in order to like help change the consciousness. Okay. And she's like, which has like happened. She's like, because people of starseeds may not even realize how much further their frequency is reaching.
All right. Well, I'm wrapping this one up. We can talk no longer about this nonsensical stuff that may or may not be true. What do you vibe from this?
I don't know if I have a wrap up. It's more that I'm still processing.
Yeah, that's all I mean.
Yeah. I think there's a whole world out there on this stuff. Like you said, like the conspiracy theories with like other species. Like there's stuff that I've never gotten into. And I don't know if it's my thing to get into. Yeah. But I think there is like a whole nother realm of like things to explore when it comes to this stuff. Totally. And I feel like that's like what it kind of opened my eyes to. Yeah. I've never heard of half the stuff she said. I've never heard of like even Actorians. I've never heard of that in my life. So like I'm hearing new words, new things, new like, and to think that there's like 15 of these and all these like, again, theories about all of them. Like you just named 6 I'd never heard of. So I feel like it's definitely a whole new thing for me.
Totally. I think it's going to take a while. I almost want to see how it evolves over time. One thing I do think is going to happen is our shorthand with each other for the rest of our lives. I'm going to be like, well, that's your Octorian. And you're going to be like, oh, it's Lyrian. So I do know that the two we were like pitched as our
like
as your like I bet over time you and I will begin to like relate to it, whether it's true or not, just because that's what we do.
Did she say like Lyrians have anything? Like how she was so much like the Octorians are like thinking and like can process? Was like Lyrians like
Lyrians like all like knowing about love and consciousness and like being connected is one. And like
oneness was a big one for us. That must be everything that's an evolved dimension.
I wouldn't have called oneness a big part of mine. That didn't leave it. No, my biggest word was seeding. Like I seeded civilizations and like love and like the raising consciousness. A lot of raising consciousness. Anyway, that's enough. I'm calling it. It's been 32 minutes. Anyway, I thought it was awesome. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
I genuinely loved her. And I felt it came from an authentic place. And this is maybe one of my like resentful feelings at the moment is that I'm usually so open. And I guess it's funny to find myself in my first reading ever where I don't question our reader.
Yeah.
I question my own acceptance of it.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Totally fair.
So truly, the people who listened to this one, thank you. We promise we're not crazy, but this was fun.
It was fun.
It's fun.
Very eye-opening.
All right.
Like the show? We'd love your support. Right now, we're doing an awesome giveaway. Leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Screenshot the review and send it to hello@soguided.com or DM us on Instagram at SoGuidedPodcast. You'll be entered to win a basket of our favorite woo-woo goodies, crystals, cacao, and all the high-vibe goodies we love. Thank you for listening. We've loved being your spiritual travel guides and hope this made you feel more connected. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast player. Your reviews help us create the guide that you are looking for. We'd also love to hear your stories.
You can follow and share your experiences with us on Instagram at So Guided Podcast. Your story might just be our next weekly woo-woo. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the universe. And remember, stay curious, ask the questions. You are so guided.